Hi there, it's me, Stephen Thomas, with Reports on Housing with another housing debrief. So, thank you for joining us, and I invite everybody to subscribe, like the video. We want to get this out to as many people as possible so they can make really good, sound decisions, have proper expectations based upon good facts and data about the housing market. So, without further ado, home prices about to plunge. So the reason we did this video is because there are so many articles out there right now, and the news is talking about it because Schiller is probably the most followed home price index that's out there, and it was released this week. So there's a lot of people talking about houses and prices. So basically what happened was this came out and it's up 3.8% year over year. Now, this is through the month of January, but this is a rolling 3-month average that they take to smooth out this index. So it's actually November, December, and January. So it's a reflection of the end of the year, which are contracts that were placed into escrow in September and October. So this has such old data. By the time this comes out for the month of January, it's not really a true depiction of where we are in the marketplace right now today as far as the direction of which way home values are going. So, and a lot of articles about the West, because the West is where we're seeing the biggest changes in prices. So we're going to pivot here and not talk about Schiller because it's so dated. We're going to talk about Black Knight, who was the first to release their home price index for the month of February, and they do it just on a monthly basis. Now, annually, it still looks like everybody's getting hit pretty hard along the West Coast. And you could see across the United States, this is year over year gains, they're beginning to really diminish, except for it has gone down, but it's still up quite a bit. Miami in Florida at 11.1% up year over year. But if you look at California and the West Coast, yes, they've been hammered pretty hard. You can even take a look at Austin, Texas is probably they have the biggest drop, and they're down 15.6%. San Francisco down 15.1%. San Jose down 14.9%. Seattle down 13.6%. Phoenix 12.5%. Vegas 12.1%. Sacramento 11.3%. Then you get to Southern California. San Diego down 8.9%. LA down 8.5%. And Riverside down 7.9%. But we really want to get into this where we are on a monthly basis. Annually, yes, we're down, but where are we in February? Across the United States, we actually had values going up. Now, up 1.9% year over year. That's after months of values going down on a monthly basis. And now if you look, there are still some negative, there are still some areas where we have prices that are going down. You can see this is mostly in the West Coast as well as Austin, Texas. Now, all of these numbers are they're not as down as they were over like the last several months. And what the big orange arrow is pointing to Los Angeles, which is down just 0.2%. And right below that is San Diego County, which is flat for the month of February. So there was actually, didn't go up, did not go down, but these numbers are beginning to change course. And a lot of people would blame that on the spring market. Now, spring is when we have the most activity in real estate, and it's typically when you get a lot more home price appreciation because there's a lot of buyers that are transacting during that time of the year. But I actually don't really think it's really a spring thing. It's more of a low supply, which favors sellers versus affordability, the high interest rates and their impact on affordability, which favors the demand side of the equation if you're a buyer. So one is pulling towards a buyer's market, the other is pulling towards a seller's market. But first, before we get in that further, I want to thank our sponsor. Once again, it's Professional TC Service. Are you inundated with paperwork? The average real estate transaction is 16 hours of paperwork. If you need help, like so many people do in real estate land, let professional TC service help you by performing those non-revenue tasks to increase your productivity and efficiency and allow you to focus on prospecting. They have 2 broker owners, over 20 years of experience. They're bilingual, superior service, virtual, flexible working hours. TCs are your taskmasters, and they are your calming force. So contact professional TC service and let them take care of the paperwork. It's 714-309-8732. That's 714-309-8732. So back to the program. It's sellers versus buyers, low supply versus high rates and unaffordability, or in this case, the affordability factor. So, but know that the model that we follow as far as supply and demand is concerned is actually broken. We've had a very, very low inventory, which typically favors sellers, but it didn't matter. We had interest rates get up so high that the home and the inventory last year grew to a point where there were some homes that were languishing on the market, and market times were growing. They weren't growing outrageously, but enough where buyers were having their way and values were coming down, especially in the West. So this low supply, you have to understand, has been getting worse since peaks during the summer. And across the United States, also courtesy of Black Knight, this is the number of new real estate listings compared to 2017 through 2019. The same month average. And if you could see, it was down 37% during COVID lockdowns. That was the month of April in 2020. Recently, the number of homes coming on the market has been fewer and fewer and fewer, and there's actually 27% fewer homes came on the market than the average across the United States for the month of February. Now, in Southern California, that same average, 2017 through 2019 on a monthly basis, I'm just taking this chart from January of 2020 through February of 2023. On the left-hand side, you could see that was during COVID, and it really limited the number of homes coming on the market across Southern California. During the lockdown, it was down like 46%. Now, on the right-hand side, you could see as this is 2022, and it got to be where there were fewer and fewer homes coming on the market, and now we're into 2023, and it's those last 2 bars on the right, it's actually down 42% January and down another 41% in February compared to the months of January, February prior to COVID, the average. So there are far fewer homes coming on the market, and you could see that in all of Southern California, the active listing inventory, it peaked last year and since then has really come down quite a bit. And we're right now at levels in Southern California, when you draw a line across, it is the lowest. It beats out 2013, which was a low time that was the lowest level prior to COVID that we had ever seen in tracking all the data, and right now it's below that. Of course, it's not as low as where we got last year. A lot of people compare it to last year, but last year was where what I refer to as a supply catastrophe. This year, it is still a supply crisis. There are not enough homes available on the market today. And if you look at, this is actually taken today, there are 18,804 homes on the market that are available today in all of Southern California. In January, there were 22,838, which is 21% higher. In October of 2022, there were 30,909. That is 64% higher than where we are today. So we peaked last year, actually in August. And still in October, there were a lot of homes at 30,909 because it kind of flatlined for the fall. That's 64% more than where we are right now today. So since October, it's gone from 30,000, almost 31,000, down to below 19,000, the number of homes available in all of Southern California. And it doesn't look like it's really ready to grow yet. Prior to COVID, there was almost 36,000, which is 91% higher than where we are today. Almost double where we are today is where we were pre-COVID. And now let's look at the buyer side of the equation. That is the demand side and affordability. And what's driving on affordability right now is, of course, these high interest rates. Now, the number of purchase applications, which is a very good leading indicator for where demand is going in the near future, that's purchase applications later are offers to purchase, which become closed sales down the road. So we're looking at, okay, what is the pending sales activity? What is it going to look like based upon the most recent purchase application? Now, for the last several weeks, since it topped out at 7% and then started to come down, for the last several weeks, we've had increases in the purchase application. Part of that is typical for spring, but it's all down 35% year over year, which is way down compared to where we were last year. But that number is starting to squeeze tighter and tighter. And by the time we get to June, we'll probably be pretty close to negligible, down 0% year over year. So there really won't be much of a change. And now, as far as demand, this is most recent escrow activity. So the last 30 days worth of escrow activity. Today, we're at 11,251. You could see how this is diminished demand compared to prior years. This is the number of new pending sales over the last 30 days. So it really gives you kind of like the how many people are transacting. Pre-COVID, we were at 17,292, which is 54% higher than where Southern California is right now today. But what's happening is there is really low supply is now trumping affordability. Now, over the summer and also during the fall, affordability was trumping where supply was. But since October, we've actually seen that the inventory has come down, and it's continued to come down all the way through today. Now, typically, by the time we get to the end of January, inventory starts to rise. But since January, it has continued to fall. So low supply is trumping the affordability issue that is out there. So today, as far as the expected market time, well, that gives you kind of the speed of the market. The speed of the market based upon where is supply is and where demand is has definitely been dropping. Today, it is at 51 days. It actually dropped a couple days from 2 weeks ago. The 3-year average is 63 days. And what this means is if you place your home on the market, when are you opening up escrow? When this number gets lower and lower and lower, that's for the entire area of Southern California, it means the market is getting hotter and hotter. Now, the black arrows that I'm pointing to on the right-hand side, that was where we were at the end of 2022. It's from October all the way through just about the start of December. It was above 100-day expected market time, and that's where we really saw prices come down in Southern California. Now, on the left-hand side, I'm showing you at the beginning of January of 2023, this year, for Southern California, you could see that Southern California started with an over 100-day expected market time, but has dropped dramatically. It's almost halved since January. And that's where it is right now today. No, it is not as fast as where we were in 2021 or 2022. But those were absolutely unhealthy, insane markets where values were going up at an unsustainable rate. Now, you could see that in 2020, the expected market time at this time actually started to really increase. That is that green line, and that is because we went into COVID at this time. So right now, it's lining up in the sellers column. It is a seller's market. It definitely favors sellers right now. And that is because of how low the expected market time has gotten. At 100 days, that takes a while for homes to sell. But once you get down towards that 50-day threshold, this is a pretty insane level getting down to 50, and it continues. The inventory continues to fall as demand is continuing to rise just slightly, but doesn't matter. As a result, the market is getting hotter and hotter. And we are seeing open house lines. We're seeing buyers bumping into each other because there's not enough homes available. And we're also seeing where we're having bidding wars again. And I'm hearing all across SoCal and also in Sacramento and also in Phoenix that we are getting so many offers that it's like a bidding war, and values are that the sales prices are going above the asking price again, which is unhealthy. It's reminiscent of 2020 and 2021 and 2022, and here we are again. So as a result of where it's at, I know that home values are starting to rise. It's not going to show in any of the numbers yet, but it will be the case because of how hot the market has become with inventory. So really, what I want everybody to take away from this is that there are just far fewer sellers right now, that many can't or won't sell because of what a great rate they have. This is what it's, so it's this low inventory, and it's versus the low demand, and the low demand is because many simply can't buy because of affordability. But the supply has come down so far that it is outstripping this inability to afford. So it is weighing in the column of sellers versus buyers at this point. Prices will be flat in many markets to going up in a lot of markets across the United States, and nobody really sees it yet, but you can really see it in the data when you start drilling down to new pending activity and where inventories are falling to. Right now, also because of this, there aren't that many homes on the market. You can't buy what's not available, so there's going to be far fewer sales as well. So that will be the story that everybody will hear, that we're not doing that many sales. You simply can't because they're not coming on the market. If you want a copy of this, you need to be a subscriber to the one of our housing reports at either San Diego, San Bernardino, Orange County, Riverside, LA. We have the 5 Southern California markets, and we drill down to the whole county level, and then we bring it down to the city level so that everybody can have make great decisions based upon having proper expectations. You can go to reportsonhousing.com to subscribe. And the most recent one that came out was multiple offers. San Bernardino, Riverside got it this week. LA, Orange County, and San Diego got it last week. And there will be a new report for LA, Orange County, and San Diego this coming up week. And if you want a free month, you could subscribe by going to reportsonhousing.com. And you know what? Click on the coupon prices, put that in there, type it in there, put prices in there, and you'll get a free month. So I just want to thank you for staying tuned again. We'll let you know how this market is evolving, but this is where we are at right now. Thank you for joining us for yet another housing debrief. And remember to like and subscribe. Thanks so much.